It's the Crisco Kidd block party. Yeah.
Woo! They said, hey, Rachael Ray's got a new book coming out, and it's called This Must Be the Place. Would you be interested in having her on the show? I said, I've been waiting at least a decade to talk to Rachael Ray, and today's the day. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Rachael Ray.
Thank you for having me, man. This is cool.
I mean, it really has been years, and when this opportunity came up, I had to jump on it. I mean, first of all, we got to celebrate you. We got to celebrate your book. Congratulations with this. But your career, I mean, you're just a household favorite. You're definitely a favorite of ours over here in our home. I mean, we even I noticed I didn't make it to the kitchen yet, but that's our dog food. My micro bully Zima, she loves the dish, the chicken right there.
Thank you. And I got to tell you, I started everything in our brand to fund our philanthropic measures because we don't have human children, So we started with improving school food for kids, feeding hungry kids, and providing water during natural disasters. And that's where Yummo started. Then we grew that into what's the foundation now, the Rachael Ray Foundation. And what funds that largely is our animal food, which I eat all the time to show people the great quality. I eat the dog and the cat food all the time, just to show people how tasty it is and that you can read it like a menu. But because of that food, largely, we've raised over $70 million for relief just with our products. That's more money than I thought I'd earn in like 5 lifetimes. So thank you for buying that food. You help a lot of animals in need when you do that.
And that's why we actually, it all kind of worked out, right? How we wanted it. We were looking for a good food that has great, products for
ingredients,
for our dogs. And then we wanted to, do things with a purpose. And, we kind of joked about that earlier before we started recording, but I believe when things are done with a purpose and there's an intention behind it and something greater, that makes a bigger impact, right? So we kind of like let her choose which one she was going to. We put a couple of different ones out. And she went to Rachael Ray Dish every time. So, I don't know if the food chose our dog or our dog chose the food, but it was meant to be. And that's why it's in our house. So
I love it. Thank you for letting us into your home.
Let's talk about the book right quick, because this must be the place. What a year I think that we've all had, 2020 and then into 2021. Really. We all experienced pretty much the same thing together. And right. You actually had a tragedy happen with your house. And this is a story about rebuilding. So if we can kind of talk about this must be the place and how it's a whole rebuilding, not just of the physical things, but of things that make a house a home, please.
The book is titled This Must Be the Place because of a song that I love by Talking Heads, Naive Melody. That This Must Be the Place is about home and what home means. And the visual that I get when I listen to that song is an angel's wings covering you and finding wings in life. And that the idea of that feeling is what home is. It's not your collection of stuff. When we had to start filming from inside our private home, we felt like we lost our privacy. Then we lost our dog of 15 and a half years, but she died in my arms at home and we were with her every minute of the last several months of her life. So we found the grace in that. And so many people lost human beings and they didn't have that grace. They couldn't touch or hold the person they loved. So we found the gratitude in that. When our house burned down, we had a very delayed reaction. It took John 10 days. It took me several days for it to just hit us that we lost all this stuff. But then we also discovered that place you can get to in your head. Oh man, it wasn't about the stuff. It's the fact I lived that life. We made that home. We have those memories. And fire can't take that from you. That's the sense of home to us now versus prior to everything, And we have rebuilt our home. It's November now. It's not 100%, but it's almost there. And, it's only been about 1 year and 4 months. And I can look and see that. And that makes me feel good and secure. But what we learned was so much greater and so much more important. And I think that's what I wanted to write about, is that the whole world went through this thing where everyone had to pivot. Everyone had loss of some kind. And everyone has had to rethink what their time is worth, what other human beings are worth, what everyone in our community is worth to us. and what we're willing to do and not do just for the love of money in a post-pandemic world. So it was examining all of that. And of course, there's a whole bunch of food in there that I cooked over that. Actually, the food part breaks my heart because I wrote over 300 and something recipes, but they could only fit 125 in the book. So I just see all the kids that were left back at the bus stop, didn't make the bus. It breaks my heart. I prefer to just think about the essays in the book to kind of bring us all together and have a conversation. When I think about the food, I get heartbroken because it all didn't make it.
But you know what? It's just like an artist. So like with the music, they may have done 100 songs, and guess what? Only 12 are going to make the cut.
That's right.
You have that. You know what that feels like.
My husband has 2 bands, and not every song makes the album. But he's also in a writing club. So every week, 52 weeks a year, he has 52 songs to choose from at the bare minimum. But you're right. It's only like 8 to 12 that end up doing anything for him.
So is there one, and we're going to talk about some of your favorite ones, but that are in the book, right? And why you chose these recipes. But is there one that didn't make it, and for whatever reason that you still enjoy?
100. I don't really pick favorites with food. My husband's favorite has always been carbonara, basically bacon and egg spaghetti. But I don't have favorites when it comes to food. I'm I'm kind of low rent. I'll eat anything if I'm hungry. A scrambled egg could be the most delicious thing in the world to me at the end of the day.
I'm going to start using that, very low rent, because that's exactly that's what we are around here, man. Yeah, I'm low rent. That's what I'm going to start telling people.
I'm very easy to please.
When you created, it's 125 recipes, and then you have the essays.
Oh no, I created hundreds. They chose the editor chose 125, and that's just in 1 year. I mean, this is my 27th book. There have been thousands and thousands of recipes that I've written that didn't make the cut into books, that were shown on the TV show or in the magazines, or just things that I make in life that I never teach on TV. It's what I do for fun. Just like my husband likes to play instruments. He plays like 10 different things. He doesn't have a favorite instrument, but he just loves writing music.
Right. But when you chose, or the team chose these 125, was the mission in mind? Yes, we're going to make these dishes that give me the sense of home and can give other families the sense of home. Or was it about speed, or was it about something that's going to be easy to get the whole family involved?
It was about the arc of the food during that time, during the last 20 months or so. So the food starts out very simple and being mostly pantry based, because everybody thought the pandemic, we'd go back to normal life in a few weeks or a couple of months, maybe. No one thought it would ever go on this long, of course. So the food goes from that sensibility to becoming much more robust with a wider variety of ingredients, as I learned how to order and procure food at home from anywhere at a great price. And of course, all the holiday dishes in that book are about kind of smaller, cozier holidays that people will now have to make larger. They'll have to make a couple of the rolled turkey breasts or the couple of these things, because now we're entertaining in larger groups again. Yeah. So the book is really written for small groups, to families, to a couple people. It's not written in these big giant batch recipes, not even the holidays, because we didn't have them. So this is the food that corresponded to all of the time arc of the book, which is from the spring, the first March of last year, of 2020, right? Exactly. All the way through, almost present day now. So it's about that arc and what was cooked during that time.
Right. There's a lot of people that I know that we may think, okay, we're coming out of the pandemic, but some people may still every day depend on the early pandemic items that might be in the pantry, and they may just embrace your book as like, hey, this is what we have in the pantry 90% of our year anyway, and I love these recipes.
Well, I think a lot of people have started cooking more, period, for obvious reasons. They spend more time at home. And even in the post-pandemic world, a lot of people are doing what we're doing this year, a hybrid of working in the city at the studio and still working from home, because people want to see the house being rebuilt and they want the feeling of still being in our lives in this different way. But I think everyone has learned to build a pantry in general over the last 2 years. But I always give people this advice. When you build a pantry, it should be for the things your family loves to eat the most. If you love pasta and Mediterranean food the most, you should have canned beans, canned tomatoes, dry beans, dry mushrooms, all sorts of different shapes of pasta and rice and grain. If you love and you're obsessed by Tex-Mex or Mexican cuisine or Latin cuisine or Spanish cuisine, whatever your go-to is, that's where you should start your pantry, and only fill that pantry in every few weeks to once a month. And then it makes what you need to order or go out and get a lot easier, because you already have these staples always there and waiting for you. And you're gonna, if you know the building blocks of your favorite types of cuisine, you're a meat and potatoes person, you're a seafood person, I love Spanish food, whatever. Those building blocks will remain the same. Or I love to cook Asian food all the time. You're going to build a pantry where you're using light and dark soy sauce. Often you're using oyster sauce. Often you're using fish sauce. Once you own those things, you can cook dozens and dozens of meals with them before those products run out. So really think about your pantry and how to structure it based on what you love to eat the most.
Wow. You know what? Thank you. I'm looking down and writing because I'm taking notes, Rachael. I never knew you could organize a pantry like that. I didn't know there was a method. So you might see the sriracha next to the syrup, or it's all random in mine. So
no, you have to organize that, man. And the same thing with the spices. Clean out all your spices, put them loosely alphabetically, and again, invest in fresh, dry herbs and spices that you use all the time, and switch them out every 6 months or so.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. You know what? Just two more things. We know with your magazine, you got the holiday issue coming up right now. People are starting to think about the Thanksgiving, the holiday, the Christmas dishes, whatever it might be. Like you mentioned earlier, people are going to start gathering more this season.
I know. Isn't that great?
It's exciting. It's exciting again. A couple of dishes that you're highlighting in the magazine. What do you think everybody should be cooking?
Well, we've gone back to that kind of hybrid idea there. We give people large and small, whether you're doing a Friendsgiving for a couple of people or the big giant meal. I've always said my best advice, if you are going to have a large meal this year, 2 turkeys rather than 1 large turkey, 2 small birds, you get more pieces of everything. You can break down 1 turkey completely before it ever even goes to the table. And I like cooking. I know it sounds like I'm cussing or something, but spatchcock birds cook so fast. When you take the backbone out of a turkey or a chicken and cook it flat, it cooks in like a quarter of the time. It cooks very fast at a higher temp. If you let the juices settle and then bring it to the table and butcher the 2 flatbirds, it is so beautiful. It's more even cooked. You get more crispy skin. It's fabulous. And we have just thousands of recipes, not just in the current issue, but on the magazine site. Our magazine is called In Season Present Day. And we have, there's something for everyone, truly, whether you're a vegan or a meat lover, or you want to end up with extra turkey. The one I'm doing for the show, I'm really, really excited about. I am making giant turkey legs and wings, whiskey marinated, and then tossing them in whiskey buffalo sauce.
Yes.
As like the early part of the day when you're watching a game.
Right.
And then later I'm taking the turkey breast and making rolled turkey with the stuffing inside the breast and extra on the side. It's epic. I can't wait. That's going to be on our show site though.
I'm going to be hanging outside in your lawn, just hoping for something to accidentally land out the plate. I'm just like, come on, man, give me one of them.
Yes,
Hey,
yes.
I got to. I have to ask this though, because we've been talking about a lot of people going to like have to make a decision. With some people in some markets, turkey, the price is getting out of hand, and they're saying this could be the most expensive holiday season ever. What do you recommend?
Of course, there's substitutes for turkeys. Well, a lot of my friends don't even eat turkey, and those that are meat eaters, some people just don't like turkey. Cornish hens were so big when it was back in the day when I was a kid, and you always see them in the freezer. I feel bad for them. Nobody buys them anymore. When I was a kid, they were like huge. Everybody wanted the cute little individual chickens, and everybody gets one chicken. Just oven stuff or roasters. Everybody can buy a chicken. Why can't you make just beautiful roast chickens and put the cut citrus, orange or lemon or both, and your herbs inside the chicken cavity? and just keep basting the chickens instead of giant birds. You know, you can fit 3 good sized chickens in a big old roasting pan.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people just choose different meats. You know, a lot of people would prefer to have a pork roast. My family loves a pork roast. So on actual Thanksgiving, I think we're going to do a pork roast with apple brandy and apples. Yeah. And some roasted garlic potatoes.
Brenda, you're going to love this video, Brenda. Hey, you know, I love your vibe. And thank you for being you, Rachael Ray. You've been just an inspiration, not just to different chefs and upcoming people, but TV personalities, radio personalities. Just, I love what your character, what you embody. It's just so, I do want to kind of end with this. Pitbull's got a new song out right now called I Feel Good. And we have this thing called the Pitbull Experience on our show, where I don't know if you've met Pitt before, if you guys are friends, like secretly, I don't know, because sometimes people surprise me.
No,
Like,
but I so wish. I'm such a huge admirer of his sense of community and bringing people together. And that messaging is so important to me. He's such a positive minded human being. I have tremendous respect.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, you know, if they haven't met before, we got to make Rachael Ray Pitbull.
We got to make that happen. I think we get along real well.
Something happened here. Well, look,
positive minded is where
positive. It's all about the good vibes, man. This must be the place. Grab the book. It's on Amazon. It's on just a lot of different places. They can actually go to your website if you'd like them to go there.
Amazon's fine.
Oh yeah, she's like, it don't matter where you get it from. We still getting it. Do you have a cover of it right now that you can show us real quick? That way we know.
I don't have any of them in the house. I signed them all and gave them away.
Oh my God. It's in demand, folks.
You gotta go cut and paste one in from Amazon, man.
Rachael Ray, we love you. Thank you so much, and have a great holiday season. And we look forward to talking to you soon.
Thank you, darling. Hope to
you
talk
too,
to
John.
Here's your brother-in-law.
Hey, thanks a lot, Crisco.